So I got another big one. This one's fresh in my mind because I just hit Publix the other day. Food. So I have two boys, 11 and 13, and I can get us on a budget. I've done this. I have done the budget.
You're really good at budgeting your food. Pay attention, guys. She's good at this.
Sometimes I get very busy with work and I don't have time to plan it out. And I'm spending, $350 a week in food, but I can make it to 100 if I sit down and really focus. And the boys love it. I mean, it's all good food still either way, but it can range.
Yeah. We got some new options with COVID and everything with some of the local farmers, and also I can say local farmers, you can do meat or vegetables there because we do have a pretty big industry in the area. So some of those companies stepped up to the plate to start delivering to consumers and not just restaurants and other wholesale venues.
Yes. If I go and I hit the produce stand and I hit the butcher, I mean, I can easily do well under $100 a week.
Yeah. Grocery change. We have Publix here. Everybody loves Publix. It's nice. It's pretty. They have a beautiful deli, but they can be more expensive than other avenues. We have Winn-Dixie. We have Aldi or Aldi, depending on how you say it. We have BJ's. We have Sam's Club. Not far from here is also a Costco's.
We have a Greenwise coming in over by you.
Oh, I didn't hear it was Greenwise. I thought it was going to be a regular Publix. Greenwise is like an organic style Publix. Oh, and we have Sprouts now too. Sprouts is brand new to the area. And then of course we have local produce. I love Country Club for my fruits and vegetables. We've got the Hobe Sound Farmers Market that's been doing some cool new stuff that's a little bit west of town. We use Uverse by AT&T in our neighborhood. What do you use for internet where you are?
We have Uverse as well.
Oh, okay. That's good. Combined with our cell phone package. I guess cell phones are a cost of living as well. Maybe if you're coming from another area, you might want to change providers, based on the towers. I've always had AT&T. It's worked really great. Pretty much anywhere that I've traveled within the country. I pay $300 a month for 3 cell phones and my internet service. I don't know if that's a great deal or not. Those things are never fun to try and renegotiate, but it's comfortable enough for us. We have great connection and speed, and I'm happy with that.
Mine's 2 different bills because I have T-Mobile for my cell phone. So we pay $200 for the house internet. Now I homeschool and I've got my own personal things running off of it and every TV in the house. That's $200 a month. Our cell phone with T-Mobile. So we've got 4 cell phones and I run a pad off of it that has its own line for where the house is. So that is $315 a month.
Fishing is a huge industry. Both of our husbands are big fishermen. Though mine's a commercial fisherman, I feel like he sells everything and doesn't always bring anything home to eat. But you can go to the beach, like my picture here in the background, maybe do a little surf fishing. That's a lot of fun. Catch some bluefish or some pompano and take them home.
This is a picture from where we were fishing like 3 days ago.
Car insurance is a big cost of living. And people think, oh my gosh, it's Florida. Crazy drivers. Yes, it's going to be nuts. We are in Martin County, Florida, which is just north of Palm Beach County and just south of St. Lucie County. We do have lower car insurance rates than the surrounding area. Something about that is that we have fewer uninsured drivers than, like, say, Palm Beach County, which is a much larger county, and Miami-Dade and Broward and all of that. The cost can be much higher to insure your vehicle, from what I understand.
Who do you use for your insurance, your car insurance? Do you use the same homeowners as you do for car?
I happen to use Progressive for both. I don't know I think I'm saving $6 a year in my bundle between the two. It just so happens to be that I'm using Progressive for my car. And then the house is like ASI, I think, is who writes for Progressive. Car insurance, we do pay where you pay every 6 months. I think I save $600 a year by paying in full every 6 months as opposed to paying monthly. So I do whatever I can to make sure that we stick with that plan, because I don't even understand how that's legal that they charge so much extra. But I just sent mine. I think we are paying $1,100 every 6 months for 2 drivers, and we've been with them for a very long time. So we're going to see what it costs to add that third driver.
We had Safeco, but they were okay for a while, but they almost doubled our insurance like overnight for no reason. And it wasn't like there was an accident or anything. It was renewal and they doubled it. So we were paying about $450 a month with them for just 2 drivers. So now we're over at State Farm and we're paying $250 a month. So the
Okay.
longer.
Maybe look and see if they give you a better deal if you pay every 6 months, because I think I would be paying about the same if I was paying monthly through Progressive. They give us a much better deal if we pay two payments per year.
That's a good idea. We have a boat that's covered too, I should say. But yeah, that's a good idea. I'll call and ask.
Insurance rates went up about 30% over the last year across the board for homeowners insurance, as we're talking about the cost of living and what it would cost to insure your home. We were paying about $2,000 a year. Now, Jaime has a wood frame home. It is a little bit more expensive to insure. We have a concrete block or a CBS home. So we were paying about $2,000 a year. We got our renewal at the end of February and it went up to $3,000 per year. So that's like 33% increase. Went back and had the policy reviewed. And what we did is we just kind of move things around a little bit. That's what a good insurance agent will do for you. Change this here, move this there. We upped our deductible a little bit. I mean, nobody wants to have to ever use the policy, but risk wise, so we saved about $500 per year on this new policy. So it did go up, but it went up to $2,500 per year. Homeowners insurance can vary by county for sure. And then you've got flood insurance in some parts of the county as well. That's something to consider when you're thinking about your cost of living. Are you in a flood zone? Realtor.com has this really cool new feature where when you put in the address of where you're looking, it has the flood zone right there on the listing, which is really easier than all the hunting you had to do. And it's more like full disclosure. Here's the house you're looking at, is it in a flood zone or not? If you get flood insurance for a home that's not in a flood zone, it's like $500 a year. I have an owner who is buying in Cape Coral on the West Coast. He is in a flood zone and he's paying about $800 a year. He has to have it, where if you're not in a zone, you don't have to have it, but it's not that much to protect your one of your biggest investments, if not the biggest investment in your portfolio, your home. With our mortgage, we have our taxes and insurance escrowed. When you're talking about real estate, there's a couple different kinds of escrows, and sometimes it can be a little bit confusing. When you're talking to someone who's buying a house, they're like, what about your escrow? And they're like, well, I don't know, I gave them $10,000. Jaime, tell us about what an escrow account is as far as when you're working with the client.
So when we find you a house and you love this house and you put down what's called an escrow. It's basically a deposit that takes that house off the market for other buyers to buy. So you're putting a deposit down. It doesn't actually go towards your insurance or anything at that point. You just put it in an account through your title company or the real estate agent's company. And that sits there till closing. And then at closing, when all the insurance and taxes and everything gets divided up and you get your amount of your closing costs, what it is you need to wire to the closing, they take the amount you already have in your deposit and they factor that in as a credit to you because you've already paid that amount. That escrow will then be dispersed against your taxes that might be due by you if it's prorated or depending how it all works and where you end up.
It can actually go towards funding your escrow account, meaning
Exactly.
your other escrow account. When I'm talking with you guys and when you're buying a house and I'm talking about escrow, I'll mention the earnest money deposit or the escrow deposit that you've put down to secure the house for the contract. But then typically you don't have to have an escrow account, but I'd say probably 90% of the loans that I do have an escrow account. An escrow account is a non-interest bearing account, same in both scenarios. But this non-interest bearing account with your mortgage is held by your mortgage company to pay your taxes and insurance each year on time. So they're going to collect a little bit from you each month for taxes and insurance. That's going to be part of your mortgage payment. And then when those are due, they're going to pay those on your behalf at the lowest rate, meaning the discounted rate for taxes. Insurance doesn't give you a discount. And that's something that's rectified each year. So that's escrow when it comes to your mortgage, as opposed to who's holding your escrow when you're buying a house.
Thank you for
that. Makes sense? I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. So I have insurance, but I do know that the walk-in clinic, Hobe Sound Primary Care, which is where I'll take like Wrigley or John or, someone who has an injury and I don't have time to get to the doctor. If it's like a quick thing, I'll take them into primary care. And actually I go there myself, even though my insurance is not accepted there. So I actually do see them because I think that they're fabulous and they've gotten everyone in and fixed everything. So it was $150 because they don't take my insurance. So without insurance, a visit's $150.
Yeah, insurance is nuts right now. I mean, it's absolutely insane. It's like one of those things, and we're talking about health insurance now. So that's 3 types of insurance that we've gone over. So health insurance is essential, right? You have to have it, but it's not the health insurance of 20 years ago where you paid a little copay and they took care of everything. Now you seem to be paying for every little thing. So I agree with Jaime and her point. You're going to have your policy that covers everybody. But if you're paying out of pocket because your deductible's, $10,000 a year anyway, why not pay out of pocket for a service that from a doctor or a practitioner that you actually enjoy working with and gives you the service you want? We did have some of us on an employer sponsored plan. Some of us were on another type of plan. I don't even know what you call it. It's not on the ACA, so it's not on the Obamacare or whatever, and it's not employee sponsored. So I have a separate plan. I now have all 4 of our family members on a separate plan. The deductible is not too crazy high. We've been on it for a year, and I pay $850 a month for the 4 of us. Obviously, there's a lot of details when it goes into a plan, but I feel like we've got great coverage. It's not temporary coverage, it's full coverage, and I do that through an independent broker locally. I do know a local broker that can help as well if you don't have access to an employer-sponsored program or already have something on the ACA that you're happy with.